Hello again. We have Suzanne Muldowney again today to tell us about a special holiday we're about to enjoy. So what do you want to tell us about Thanksgiving, Suzanne?
It's strictly American in its beginnings because people from Europe came to the New World to escape religious persecution and hard to live with governments. When the Pilgrims first arrived in Plymouth, a priest emphasized this maybe just a couple of years ago. They had no farming equipment with them.
You think this was just bad planning?
What?
Was this just bad planning on their part?
I don't know, but they didn't have enough food to eat, and they couldn't find any really nutritious foods among the native plants, and there came severe winter weather that wiped out half the Pilgrim population.
Yeah, you think they could have packed some sandwiches?
Oh, come on.
Okay, so what?
I'm being serious. You're being inappropriately silly.
Okay. Apologize for that comment, Suzanne. I could also say they should have brought a tractor with them, but that you wouldn't like that either. So what happens after that?
When the spring came, one Native American named Squanto came to the Pilgrims' aid. There was another Native American with him, but I forget his name. He showed the Pilgrims how to plant crops, so that when harvest time came that fall, the Pilgrims had a very good harvest of several kinds of crops and also seafood. The Pilgrims thought they should give thanks to God for getting them through that first year and getting them to the New World in safety, and they invited the Native Americans to join in the feast. The original Thanksgiving feast was in September of 1621, and it lasted 3 days.
Yeah, so it started in September?
Yes, September.
Oh, okay. But why do we celebrate it in November?
I never quite understood that. Probably because some crops weren't ready for harvesting until October or perhaps early November. The Pilgrims owed a lot to the Native Americans for their assistance.
Okay, yeah, I think most people know that part. And there's significance to the food or any other symbolic things that we do?
At Thanksgiving time, we should be grateful for a great many things other than food. We have our families, our religious faiths, our freedom in government, and the spirit of friendship and the golden rule.
Okay, what golden rule?
Weren't you ever taught it in your homeland?
Well, the one who has the gold makes the rules?
No.
No.
It had nothing to do with possession of gold.
I see. So tell us about it.
It was the one all-perfect rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
I see. Okay, so you call that a golden rule. Okay, I'll go with that. Sure. But that comes from the Bible, I guess?
Well, it's in one of the Gospels, I'm sure, but I don't know which one. But it was Jesus who emphasized it.
That's why didn't know what you're talking about initially because I grew up in a communist country. So there you go. So what are you thankful for?
What?
What are you going to be thankful for?
I started to say something else.
Oh, okay.
It's a very sad thing that too many people look upon Thanksgiving as just a time for pigging out on food, for being gluttonous, and that's really not the true spirit of the holiday.
So, because that would be a sin.
Yes.
So you would say we should be moderate in our food consumption.
Yes.
Okay. And do you want to share what are you going to be thankful for? Do you have anything specific?
I have a number of things to be thankful for, but I have two major things this year. I'm thankful for the preservation of my health, and also for the restoration of my job. I hadn't worked since mid-March, and on Columbus Day, my workplace reopened.
Well, that's good. Well, those are two important things. I mean, a lot of people are suffering with the lack of employment because of the lockdown, so it's nice that they reopened, and you're staying healthy, which is also good.
Yes.
Now, when we spoke last time, you mentioned something about certain items you wanted to mention, like candy canes, or...
No, that's for Christmas.
Oh, it's for Christmas. You're right. I thought for some reason it had some connection with Thanksgiving. But okay, anything else about Thanksgiving?
Well, too many people misuse it to rush to the Christmas sales, which begin the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, or for the past few years, some advertisers would make the major stores open on Thanksgiving night. They don't allow themselves enough time to concentrate on the one holiday. They're too concerned about getting started right away with Christmas shopping.
And they're too concerned with material things instead of celebrating the holiday for what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Well, that might not happen this year because most stores are closed.
Well, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, people are shopping online rather than going physically into a store.
Shopping online has always been over important for at least several years.
But considering the COVID lockdown rules in some states, especially, I would imagine people probably rather shop online than actually go in a store.
I'm saying that COVID did not start the problem of going online. I said shopping online had already been over important for several years earlier. Yes,
that's correct. So what foods do you enjoy? Do you like turkey or stuffing or cranberry sauce?
I'm not having any of those things for my Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. The traditional foods in an American Thanksgiving dinner are always sold in portions large enough for an average-sized family. With the foods I got, they're just in proportion to a single person's consumption.
I see, but what's your favorite?
Chicken breast.
Oh, okay, so you go for chicken rather than turkey.
What?
So you rather have chicken than turkey?
Oh, turkey tastes fine, but like I said, you never find just small, compact turkey meals. You always have the whole big bird with it's always big enough to feed a family, and sometimes the larger turkeys can take care of either large families or an average-sized family plus guests.
All right. So are you staying in or are you going out?
I'm staying in.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to share anything else? We have a couple of messages from the fans. Do you want to share anything else?
Ever since getting Thanksgiving dinner for myself became a permanent thing, I shied away from big portions of the average Thanksgiving meals, traditional Thanksgiving foods. I became interested in ancient Rome when I was a high school junior. I started taking Latin at that time, and I was also researching other aspects of ancient Rome, including the Roman banquets. So my Thanksgiving dinner is always recreation of a Roman banquet.
Well, I hope that doesn't include the vomitorium.
No.
Because you said you don't want to overeat.
In the books that I read, there were Roman banquets with foods typically eaten by the average American family, but they were aimed at school children. Some schools probably have Latin clubs, and if any of those clubs hold a traditional Roman banquet from time to time, they mind their manners, and they don't pig out, and they stick with foods that were authentic to Roman banquets, but still compatible to the average American dinner.
Well, how did you make a connection between Thanksgiving and the Romans?
Because they were known for having banquets to celebrate certain occasions. Before Thanksgiving originated, for eons of history, different civilizations had ways of celebrating harvest time.
Okay, so you went through the harvest holiday, and that's how you made a connection, because it's not exactly a Roman holiday, although that's a good movie.
Roman holiday?
Yeah.
Well, that's not set in ancient Rome. It's more contemporary in the setting.
Well, that's true. It's still Roman. It's got Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn.
I didn't bother watching it because it wasn't set in ancient times.
Well, for some of the young kids, 1950s would be ancient times, I guess. But okay. Do you want to hear a couple of messages from your fans, or just do you have something else we can talk about?
What do they say?
All right, we have a message from Miss 315. She says, "We love you, Underdog." That's just a message. It's not a question. It's just a message. And then you have a question from DJ Guapo. I don't know if he's really a DJ or just initials, but he says, "Underdog's amazing, and he would love to know your reaction to the time when you called the Howard Stern show." And he...
Oh!
Okay, but that's the question. You have a fan question here.
Well, both those questioners mentioned Underdog. I do want to mention something significant with Underdog that's also connected with Thanksgiving. It was November 25, 1965, exactly 55 years ago, that the Underdog helium balloon was first used in the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. Okay. I saw the parade on television, and what really overwhelmed me was how commentator Lorne Green spoke in a reverential tone of voice, and also the balloon carriers didn't just bring the balloon up the road and then disappear around the corner where the route ended. They staged a feature presentation in the middle of the street. One of the traditional adversaries was trying to stop the parade, and naturally Underdog had to thwart him because they didn't use the Underdog balloon casually. They kind of gave it the red carpet treatment.
I see. I was going to say that left a lasting impression on you.
Yes. I've been wanting to impersonate Underdog for months, but I was afraid to do it seeing that presentation in the parade Thanksgiving Day 55 years ago was the clincher. I simply had to take on the role of underdog, and he was the first character I could portray effectively through dance.
Okay, and then why do you think they gave him such a special treatment back then, but now we don't even see him?
Well, the cartoon show had originated only the year before, and it was very popular with a great many children back then.
So
and I think it's also because it was the first time that he was presented in helium balloon form.
Okay, and do you think that was part of the promotion for the television station? That was, or you think they just liked the character?
It could have been.
Yeah, didn't they bring it back a couple of years ago?
What?
Didn't they bring the balloon back a couple of years ago?
No.
They didn't? I thought they had a couple of years back.
No, there was, in 1999, during the Doodah Parade in Ocean City, they brought along a smaller underdog balloon, not quite that massive, but well, I was in that parade too as underdog because of his 35th anniversary, and the newspapers made all the fuss about the balloon. They didn't say one word about me, and I was well established as the living embodiment of underdog ever since 1980.
So you felt they ignored you?
They did ignore me.
So that balloon was an enemy?
The balloon stole the show.
So did you actually dislike the underdog balloon?
Yes, because the newspapers gave it the red carpet treatment and not me.
So how do you feel the underdog would feel that you dislike his balloon now?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, you just said that you should be honored more than the actual balloon of the underdog.
You see a balloon for maybe only an hour or so, but people have seen me perform underdog for years and a number of times in any one year.
So you don't feel that the actual character of underdog in the form of a balloon would be something that people should pay attention to?
No.
But isn't it ironic that it's the actual balloon that gave you sort of impetus to start performing underdog, and then that same balloon got in your way?
It wasn't the same balloon. I said it wasn't nearly as massive as the Macy's balloon. It was a bit smaller, probably only about half the size.
So what if they would have used the real, big one? That would have been okay.
It would have been extremely difficult to maneuver it through Ocean City's parade route and then make a turn onto one of the streets and then turn again onto the boardwalk.
So you feel the size matters? So you feel that size matters?
Yeah, yes, the size, and also the fact that there were many low-hanging utility wires and lamps.
Okay, so, do you feel, I guess the bigger is not always better, or is it always better?
I don't understand.
Well, would you prefer a big underdog balloon or a medium size?
Macy's stopped using the big, the gigantic underdog balloon after 1984, so you really didn't need a balloon again. What was wrong with a live impersonator?
Well, I can't answer that. I didn't organize the show, so I think that was back in what year was that?
1964.
No, the Ocean City one.
Oh, 1999.
Because that's in the movie. That's in your documentary.
I know. I was very hurt when Mr. Soifer at one point said, "And if you want to see Underdog, there he is, way over there." And I was right in his path. But he pointed to the balloon instead of to me.
Right. So you feel that you should have been included.
Yes.
Right. He could have said, "There's the balloon, and then there's Suzanne as Underdog."
Yes.
Okay. So you don't dislike the balloon. You just wanted to share the credit.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Now, can I finish the question from the fan?
What?
Well, the question was about the time you called into a Howard show, and he confessed his love for you, and he wonders how do you feel about that.
I would call the Howard Stern show only to leave a message of complaint of being heckled when I was in parades because of the disrespect that Howard Stern showed for me on TV.
Okay, but then you have these fans are telling you they love you. You know, one person says they love you, and one says you're amazing. So those are compliments.
It was very embarrassing for Howard Stern to say that he loves me because he showed me no respect on his old-time TV show.
And do you think that's because he's immature? You know, like when little boys smack the girl that they actually like?
It was profane and vulgar.
No, so he wouldn't have a chance with you. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, okay. Well, it's his loss, I guess. All right, so should we wrap it up, or do you want to say some last words for Thanksgiving? You know, wish people happy Thanksgiving, or
I want to wish people happy Thanksgiving, or well, in other countries that may have similar celebrations to celebrate the harvest. Thank God for your bountiful harvests and the farmers, the landscapers, whatever the laborers are that make the harvest possible.
Yeah, well, that's a nice wish, and I wish you happy Thanksgiving as well.
Don't use it as an excuse to pig out on food.
No, that's not something you do anyway. So, but it's a good advice overall for everyone. All right, Suzanne. Well, thank you very much for talking about Thanksgiving and telling people a couple of nice things about the holiday. And we'll talk soon.
Okay, Boris. Thanks so much for calling.
All right, Suzanne. Take care. Enjoy your holiday tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.